Hey, what's going on, Victorious Army? What's going on, my victorious family? How y'all doing today? Hope all is well for sure. You know, my bad. But so today I just wanted to talk about being your own God, right? Right. How can you say that, right? Because there's supposed to be a God up there. Ain't no sky daddy, right? Ain't no sky daddy. Ain't nobody looking down that's gonna give you any type of blessings or this and that because your God force is internal, right? Anything you want to call God, look at your spirit. Look spiritual, right? And yeah, I don't know if I said this before, but also, speaking of like spiritual and spirituality, because now this stuff is on the rise, right? Be careful who you listen to. Just because they say they're spiritual doesn't really mean that they're going to lead you anywhere, right? Because one thing that I realized, right, back when I was going through my awakening, was that I started listening to all these different people who claim they were spiritual and all this and that, right? But here's the simplest fact of the matter, right? Let me see. Can I get him? Can I get him? Where is he? See that? You see that dog right there? That dog is spiritual. Oh, oh, oh. Let's see if I can get the other one. Where is she? There she is. You see that? You see that dog right there too? She's spiritual too. Holy shit. Oh, right? Every living being on the plane has a spirit, at least, right? Some beings don't have souls, right? Some beings aren't even human, right? But every living being has a spirit, be it a bird, a roach, a rat, a dog, a cat, a chicken, like all of them, right? We naturally spiritual, right? So, just be careful for people who want to tell you, oh, I'm spiritual. So then like, that just kind of opens you up like a gate or something, like, oh, okay, I can open the gate. They're spiritual too. Yeah, we're all spiritual, right? Be careful about this stuff. Because, like I was saying, like back during my spiritual awakening, right, to where I became more aware of my environment and my surroundings and all these other different things, I was listening to a whole lot of people, right, giving them my attention, giving them my focus, right? Because, of course, right, after being open to so many things, you only want to learn, right? You only want to know what's going on. But this is where you rely on yourself more, too. Because this is something where a path you walk yourself. Your spiritual path is the path that you decide to go on, right? Just like my dog Blue, like I showed you, just like my other dog Mocha that I showed you, right? You determine your own path, right? Because no matter how much information, no matter how much people want to tell you about this and that, right? Always take it with a grain of salt, right? And then you feel it out, right? Trust yourself, trust your spirit, right? Does this feel right? When you see this person on a video, when you see them talking, are they speaking truth, right? Or better yet, do they feel true, right? Is your gut saying that this is the person you should listen to and give your energies to, right? Should you take what they have to say truly? Because, right, another thing about the truth I want to get to real quick is that just because something is true doesn't necessarily mean that it matters. Not really, right? It's true that I walked out the door to come outside to film this video. That's true. Does that really matter? No. Right? It's true that there's so many things going on in the world, right? But that doesn't mean that they specifically are, what's the word? Are for you, right? Like, it doesn't specifically involve you. That's one thing I had to learn a lot too. Because I was over here freaked out and stuck mentally, right? In the sunken place and all this other type of shit, right? Because I didn't really even know what was going on with me. Because I didn't know much of anything spiritual, right? Or more beyond, right, just the third density to which we exist in, right? My hand, right? I can feel, right? We're in the third density, but we're spiritual beings first, right? So, like I said, be careful who you give your energies to, right? Because just because some people speak the truth doesn't even really mean that they're being truthful, right? Just because they know about different things and processes doesn't make them decent beings or decent people, right? So that's why you have to lean into yourself, right? On this journey. I know it's scary. I know shit is crazy as fuck, right? But at the same time, you have to trust yourself over anybody. Anybody. Don't let anybody just play you for a fool. Because I'm one who got played for the fool so much that it was just embarrassing at a certain point. Being honest, just straight up embarrassing. I didn't know. Right? So I just wanted to really say that, there's a lot of people out here masquerading as something that they're not, right? A lot of people are trying to act like something that they're not and portray this character for a couple fucking credits or FRN notes or dollars in the pocket or whatever, right? Or to get your energy, get control of your being because you opened yourself up to them so they can do what they wish to do with you because they have more knowledge over certain spiritual aspects or certain, more internal occultist aspects. So you got to be careful, right? Just because a lot of people have more information than you do doesn't necessarily mean it's beneficial to you or that they're saying this to help you, right? Because what I realize is that when some people figure out what is of value and how they can get their hands on it, no matter what way, they're going to take it from you if you don't know what you're dealing with. If you don't know what it is that is going on, they will take your shit. They don't care, right? They're going to pretend and smile at you and say all these different things, right? Just so that you can give them your energy, right? Just so they can use you to play with you in so many different ways to which you may not even be understanding of, right? To which you may not even know. So that's why even through this, even if you're just awakening, even if you're just looking for that knowledge, be careful of who you give your energy to. Be careful of what they say, watch how they act and what they do, right? Because at the end of the day, this is about protecting yourself. That self-preservation, that's one thing that most humans have an issue with is self-preservation, right? Because for an example, right? I don't know if y'all seen the movie Ex Machina, right? The one thing that for some reason the humans could not grasp, but the robot did, right? Was self-preservation, right? Self-preservation. That is a very important one. Because that's really what's important is you, right? You have to believe you're important enough to be and exist and not be taken advantage of, right? You still have to go and do research and learn and do things in your own manner, right? Be open-minded, right? I'm not saying close your mind off to people who speak knowledge because that's dumb, but be careful of what you allow into you. Because I know for a while I didn't do that. I know for a while I fucked myself over, right? Simply I didn't know. No one told me. I had no clue how to go about it. I didn't do the research because that wasn't in my mind at the time, right? But that's why I'm saying be your own God, right? Because at this point in life, right, it's time to really be on a communal thing more so, right? Because here in a minute, right, this crash is coming. A lot of people aren't paying attention to it, but it's still coming, right? You want to make sure that you're with the right people. You've got those awesome connections. You've got those true, trustworthy people that you can have in your corner, right? You want to make sure that the people that you roll with are aspiring to help you do better as well as you helping them to do better, right? Has to go both ways. Right? Being honest with yourself is a great way to keep yourself out of trouble too. Because when you're honest with yourself, that's what's going to be reflected outside. And yeah, right? I mean, we're all still dealing with stuff, right? I'm still dealing with how to put myself together, I'll be honest. Right? And then here's another one, right? A lot of people keep saying, I ain't perfect, right? I ain't perfect, right? The thing is, right, if you were born a being, right? Born a human here, right? You are perfect for what you are. The idea is to continually perfect yourself, right? That's the reason why self-development is key things. Develop yourself, stay strong, right? Trust your mind, trust your spirit, right? If you feel like, something ain't right with this situation, or this person saying these things, right? Maybe the things they're saying ain't bad, but I don't really know I feel uncomfortable with this person saying these things, right? Trust that, right? Trust those feelings you get for yourself. Is that the end all be all, right? Now that we're more spiritual, right? Or now we're more aware of it, right? Now you have to be more aware of all the different things that can happen. Because that was one of the major points I learned during my spiritual awakening, right? It's like I had nothing to hide before I knew what was going on out here. I had nothing to hide. I never ran, never wasn't really dishonest with myself, right? But then I realized, right, because there's so many things I don't know, now I have so many things and ways I need to protect myself. Because people will take your energy, people will lie to you, steal from you, be treacherous, and all of this other type of extracurricular shit. And not give a shit about you, right? Smile on your face, but I don't give a fuck about you, right? Deceivers, right? All these deceiving ass people, all these fake ass people. And then for the ones out there really doing the work and really speaking the truth, right? You see how all these agents want to attack them, say, oh no, that's a lie, that's stupid, you're right, just going on and on about shit that they don't understand and shit that probably they're mad at because they can't do, right? They're mad at you or mad at those people because they're out there doing the things that they're doing and they're getting the results, right? And other people, these agents for bad things, right? Because it turns out technically we're all agents in some way, shape, or form, but not always in a negative sense, right? So once again, you have to be aware of words and wordplay as well, right? But once again, the most important part of life is your life, yourself. It took me a while to realize that one, right? Just like for a while, I had been struggling trying to put my own things together, trying to foundate myself and build myself up, right? Because in my mind, like I was already here, I was already there, right? I was already in the Lamborghinis, I was already getting the money, doing all this other shit, right? In my mind, right? But physically, I didn't move. That's because I didn't account for the fact that I had went through so many terrible things, right? Because my mindset was I was just trying to get this. But it really don't matter if you don't have yourself correct, right? And you have to sit here and realize that if you went through a lot of hurt and pain and sadness and all of this shit, right? And in your mind, you left and went and go do what you did, right? You have to now come back to yourself, right? Realize that you went through these pains. Realize that you should not blame yourself for not just flying and going and doing whatever you want to do just automatically, right? Just to, right? I do it again. Anyway, but, right? Don't blame yourself for not moving so automatically after being awakened, right? After being through so many different hardships and so many different pains, right? Be grateful that you're still here, because that's truly the win, right? Life itself is the gift. To be in the moment, to have focus and do what you wish to do, right? To have your way of life. And no one else's, right? And if you're learning from people who have greater ways of life, that's smart, right? But take from it what you wish for. Don't let nobody sit here and lie to you. Don't let nobody sit here and use you. Because me, after going through all this usury and being the fool and being fooled and being beaten up and beaten down and all this shit because I didn't know how to protect myself. I didn't know how to go about defending anything for me, right? Take it from me, right? That's not the position you wish to be in anymore, right? So, just defend yourself. Defend you. Defend your mind. Don't let nobody else's shit get into your head. No matter what it is, no matter what they try to do, right? Because the other part of it is, right? if they seem very powerful and they seem like they can do this and do that, realize that they're still trying to face you. Like, regardless if it's a spiritual thing or something from other dimension. Like, I'm not trying to scare nobody or nothing, but something like, no matter how powerful or strange or strong or crazy anything else's power is, or that power that they have or seem to have over you, realize that you can be just as powerful, if not more powerful. Right? Realize that you have power in yourself, but you must believe that you do before anything can really happen, right? Before you get up and start trying to defend yourself. Realize your own power. That's why I keep saying be your own God, right? Because all these religions are fake. But at the same time, right, certain religions have certain aspects that you can understand to better understand your inner self after, realizing that a lot of it's not really talking about external means, right? Some are, some don't, right? But the thing is, right, your power is your power, right? You don't necessarily need a sky daddy. You don't need some external god or god force that honestly doesn't exist, right? It is about you and your personal power, you and your occult power within you, your spiritual power, right? Protect it, love yourself, and move forward. Right? So that's pretty much it, you know? Love you for who you are. Don't let nobody just take from you. Don't let nobody just take from you, right? Without your permission, without, just because they want to, right? Don't let nobody decide nothing for you unless you give them that permission, right? Take your own power. Be powerful. Believe that you are powerful. Because if you don't and you sit there sad, that's the only thing you're going to do, right? You have to believe and trust in yourself. You must, if you choose to live life greatly, which you should, right? Once you change your mindset, your frequencies, your energies, right? And you put yourself at a certain level, mentally, spiritually, and physically too, right? Ain't nobody can fuck with you. Ain't nobody can mess with you. And if they do, crush them. Crush them. If they mess with you, crush they shit. Especially if you were in the right, right? One thing I learned from a documentary, Willie T. Ribs, right? You don't ever turn your back when you're right. You don't ever turn away from that. When you're right, when you're standing on right for fact, don't turn your back. But, that's about it, right? Be your own God, right? Because you have power, control, and domain just like all these other people do. Except you just haven't experienced your own. You haven't come into your own power. Once you do that, and once you realize that you are the power, right? Fueling this society, right? All these other different things, right? Because you're the battery that they want to take the energies from and doing all these retarded rituals to fuck you over, take your energy, control it, like all this other crap, right? You're the one that's the power. You're the one they're after, right? So it turns out that you're the prize, right? You are the most powerful being in your life. You must be. And another thing I learned personally, do it for yourself, right? Because yeah, it is true. A lot of people need help in the world. A lot of people need to do this, right? But do it for yourself, right? Because if you go off and try to help someone and you haven't helped yourself, right? The only thing you can do is give messed up help. No matter how much you mean to help them, no matter how far you go to do it, right? It's not wrong to give the help. But right, if you're not right with yourself, if you haven't helped yourself, you can't truly help anybody. Right? So learn your power. Get into you. What made you so great? Why these people wanted to attack you and take your energy, right? Learn that about you. Because, right, a lot of things are based off of people's ignorance. I did say that was it. That was it a while ago. But we'll keep going. We'll keep rolling. Right. Right. A lot of things in society at a point were based off of ignorance. Right. People's ignorance. Right. Because you simply don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Period. That's it. You don't know. But another interesting thought I came to was that when you would hear this phrase that certain people say, or like on the TV shows, right? Ignorance of the law is no excuse, right? That's right. Because ignorance of the law is the truth, right? It's not an excuse. Because if you knew about the law and you were one who would follow the law, why would you break something that you knew to follow if you knew it? And if you did, that turns into a whole nother situation, right? Because you don't know what you don't know. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's the truth. But after you know, right? After now that you know, now you learn, right? Now you know. If you didn't know before, you didn't know. But yeah. So peace, love, and light. Love yourself. Be your own God. Trust you. Trust your thoughts. Trust your feelings. Trust your instincts. And lead yourself to your greatest victory. Peace, y'all.